Okay, yang dihormati semua AJK yang telah melaksanakan program untuk hari ini, dan yang dimuliakan untuk penceramah kita hari ini, Mr. Jack Chan, Director of CSI Service Sdn Berhad. Okay, saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada penceramah hari ini yang sudi untuk sama-sama sharing untuk pelajar-pelajar building services untuk topik security alarm system dan communication line network. So saya rasa saya tak nak buang masa, saya just ucapkan ribuan terima kasih dan tahniah untuk semua AJK di atas menjayakan majlis hari ini. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Dr. Mariah atas ucapan itu tadi. Hadirin yang dimuliakan, sebelum tirai ceramah dibuka, sebelum khusus bermula, suka saya membacakan biodata penceramah kita pada pagi ini. Nama diberi iaitu Mr. Jack Chan. Beliau mempunyai 15 tahun pengalaman dalam industri sistem keselamatan. Beliau juga merupakan pengarah CSI Service Sdn Berhad. CSI Service Sdn Berhad menyediakan perkhidmatan sistem keselamatan seperti sistem CCTV, sistem penggera, sistem PABS dan juga pagar penghalang. Oleh itu, majlis dengan segala hormatnya mempersilakan Mr. Jack Chan untuk menyampaikan ceramah beliau. Majlis dengan sukacitanya mempersilakan.
Okay, morning all. Okay, I think thanks for the invitation for have a talk to yours. Okay, and also it's my honor. Okay, so for now I'll be sharing today for that alarm system and that audio system. Okay, so I will share about my system. So can you see my slide?
Belum lagi, sir.
Belum lagi ya.
Sir, you stop sharing dulu, nanti you sharing balik.
Oh, stop sharing. Present now. Your entire screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it can be seen already?
Okey, dapat sir.
Yes.
Okay. Nah. So it's a full screen or it's just a half only?
Half.
Oh,
Half only.
so I put it for full screen. Okay.
Okay,
So,
clear sir.
yeah, okay. So I'm we are being one of the leading home security provider in Johor Bahru. So empower us to have an experience and true understanding of how security, particularly remote surveillance and access control security, is of ultimate value and to any business. Actually, over the years, we have embarked to the best provider of security and surveillance system for many homeowners and retailer here in Malaysia. So actually, all business, regardless of size, warrant, or our full attention and service, we know our client definitely need to pay extra attention to such intricate security system. Okay. So what we provide. So the first of all, we will have a security system, CCTV, barrier gate, audio system, PS system, and recently we just started up the service for central monitoring service. Okay. So today for the security alarm system, I need to know is, okay, how much of your, is it everybody here that the house have installed an alarm system? If yes, can you write down on the chat box? So how many of yours have a alarm system at your house? Wow. So if you do not have that alarm system, I think later you can call me to let you have protection for your house. Okay. So actually, what is an alarm system? So alarm system is designed to detect intrusion such as unauthorized entry into a building or other areas, for example, for the school or home. So actually, security system can be used at the residential, commercial, and military properties to protect against the burglar, to property damage, as well as personal protection. Okay. Hold on. Can you see my slide again?
Boleh sir?
Can.
Okay, then. I think my okay. So for the alarm system, right, we have a sub monitor and central monitoring station. So how about what is that the sub monitor? So which is after that the alarm trigger, panel system will be used online or network to call honor. So for that the new technology, we can use network, for example, use the apps to monitor, which is okay.
Sir, sorry sir, you
Yes.
present slide tak sir?
No present.
No
You
present.
present slide tak? Sebab tak keluar
You dah
slide.
hide tadi. You dah
Oh.
stop
Okay,
present.
alright.
Okay sir.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, sorry.
sorry. Okay, so it's a full screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Click the hide
Okay,
button.
okay. Yeah, sorry for that technical problem. Okay, so first of all, we have two type of that alarm system, which is self monitor and central monitoring station. So self monitor, which is using that phone line or network. So in that the latest technology now, we can be used that the apps to monitor. So what it means for apps monitor, which is, for example, if that the alarm triggered, that your apps there on your phone there will be received that the notification. So that the notification will be show up. What is that the zone is alarming? For example, the main door is alarm or that the back door is alarm. So from the apps there, we can be turn off that the alarm and turn on that the alarm. Okay, so there's the second of that the central monitoring station is that the after alarm trigger, the system will go through with central operator and will be called at the corner. Okay, so this CMS is more like ADT, which is quite famous at Malaysia, but they will be have monthly charges need to subscribe for their service. So also there will be have that which is 24 hours monitoring. Okay, so just now I mentioned is the self monitor. So self monitor, they will be used that the speech dialer to connect to your intruder alarm panel and communicate using your normal home phone line. It's a cost-effective way to be alert if your alarms goes off when you are out. So for the central station alarm, which is a CMS, is which the operation of protection device and circuit is automatically signaled to a commercial agency. called a central station. So also purpose is to provide protective service to subscribers. So for the self monitoring, there also will be a voice module, provide a voice assisted link with the control panel, which is this is using by the phone line. So alarm trigger will be have a voice to assist link with the control panel and can be programmed to call on one or more telephone numbers in the event of your alarm. So actually, if you want to turn on your alarm, you also can be call that voice module, which is your phone number, house phone number, to enabling to arm the system as well to activate the PGM. Okay. So I have one of the question. Did the house security system direct link with the police station? So I need, can yours is right at the chat box. Is that our home alarm or shop alarm system is direct link to the police station? Can yours write on the chat box? Okay, I saw here is no, I think, no. Okay. So one of the answer is some of them may be directly. Okay. So I'll be give you that answer. Alright. Wow. So first of all, you also need to know is when your alarm goes off, two indicators within the house, such as a door, contact, and sensor, must both have been triggered to warn the police call out. Okay, but at Malaysia now, we don't have that any alarm system is directly go to the police station, because if your system has false alarm in 12 months at maybe a day for three times, so we'll be stuck of the police register and there won't be response if the alarm is go off. So actually the false alarm will be jeopardize police response. So in addition to receiving the center being made aware alarm is going off, this type of contract means the police will also be contacted by the receiving center. So for example, I think it's quite famous is ADT. ADT is one of the central monitoring station. So some of them, they will be said, okay, they will be call police. Okay, so how they call police? When the alarm trigger, they go to the central monitoring station. So from there, they will be called the police. Okay, so they don't have such as the alarm trigger is going to that police station. So if go to the police station, definitely that the police will be very busy, because for that the alarm system, they will be keep on. Also, it depends that the installer how to install. Okay, because the false alarm always is will be triggered is because of that the lightning, or maybe beside of that your house have a renovation. So if let's say they have any vibration, they will be the trigger that alarm. Okay, so for that you must be remember is they will not be connected with police station unless you are subscribed for that like the central monitoring station, which is the ADT. Okay. So for the alarm system, actually they will be have detecting. So what is the detecting? Which is electronic alarm system are made up 3 component parts. The first they will be detected first. They will be determined and deter criminal activity or other treating station. So actually the alarm system we can be used for fire, gas leak, or environment change. Okay, so for that the detect is the detection. So that this system is detect activity is called a sensor. So for example, motion sensor stand for guard. So it's ready to alert you to all kind of situations such as movement in your living room, window or doors being open or closed. So when it comes to the choosing motion sensor, let your imagination run wild. Motion sensor can be do such more to protect your home from intruders. But for that, the motion sensor, you need to choose which is have a quality motion sensor, because until now we have a business. A lot of that the customer will complain false alarm causes of that motion sensor, like have your pets is going around, so we trigger an alarm. Then this will be very troublesome. So later I'll be shared to you what kind of the motion sensor we have. So that the sensor, that the motion sensor, there will be have two types. One is a passive infrared sensor that measures infrared light radiating from object in its field of view. So guys, do you remember that the movie Predator? So remember how that the alien saw the soldiers it was hunting. So that the PIR sensor sees that the heat match in the same way. You can use this sensor to build a robot that can seek out heat source, not evident to the human eye. Okay, this is called that passive infrared sensor. So, and that the active sensor is a sensing device that require an external source of power to operate. An active sensor is a device with a transmitter that send out signal, light wavelength, or electrons to be bounced off a target. So this active sensor actually is that photo beam sensor, which will be installed at the outside, left and right. There will be have a two line. So on that the two line, if have any blockage, they will trigger the alarm. So this is we call that the active sensor. Okay. So beside that, we also have the passive infrared. So they will be detect that the body heat, infrared energy, and most widely will be used the motion sensor in the home security system. So this is like when you arm the system, your motion activated. Once the sensor is warms up, it can be detect heat and movement in the surrounding areas, creating a protective grid. If a moving object blocks too many grid zones and the infrared energy levels change rapidly, the sensor will be tripped. Okay, this is called the infrared sensor. Beside that, they also will have a microwave. Sends out microwave pulse and measure that the reflection of a moving object. They'll be covered at a large area than infrared sensor, but they have a vulnerable to electron interference and more expensive. Until now, we didn't do that microwave sensor because this is really is very expensive. So again, okay, hold on now because of the technical issue. Okay, so we also have the dual technology, that the motion sensor, which is this is motion sensor. We always will be used on that shop lot houses. So they can be have combined features in an attempt to reduce that false alarm. So for example, a passive infrared sensor could be combined with a microwave sensor, since each operate in the different areas of the spectrum. And one is passive and one is active. So this motion sensor not as likely as other types of to cause false alarm, because in order for the alarm to be triggered, both sensors have been treated. They will be triggered an alarm, but that not means that never cause alarm, false alarm. Okay. So from here, we also will have area reflective type, that the sensor. So emits infrared rays from an LED, using that the reflection of those rays, that the sensor measure the distance of the person or object and detects it if that the object is within the designated area. So we also will have an ultrasonic, send out that the pulse of ultrasonic wave and measure the reflection of a moving object. So the third will be vibration. So a homemade vibration sensor gives a small mass on a level, which is activated by a switch to an alarm when it vibrates. But for that, the homemade motion sensor can work, but they can also be unreliable. Okay, so like just now I mentioned, is always false alarm for that the vibration sensor. So how come that the vibration sensor is always have this problem for the lightning? So lightning, when have that the thunder is quite big, okay, and then that will be causes that the vibration on that the window grill, because this vibration sensor we always install at the back kitchen. They have a window, so we will use that this vibration. But if let's say your neighbor is doing that the renovation, so maybe they hack the wall, so it's quite very near, they also will be causes that the alarm system false alarm. Okay, so wireless motion sensor. Okay, so today for that wireless motion sensor is very easy to set up. They do not require that drilling, and they communicate with that the other security system component wisely. But you need to remember, wireless always have a problem, which is you need to use the battery, so they can be depends AA size or AAA size of the battery. So wireless motion sensor, we are not really recommend to use it unless at your house there you can't do any wiring, and you don't want to see that the surface casing or surface PVC pipe. So we'll be suggest to use the wireless wireless of the alarm system. But the cost will be quite high, maybe more than 80% of the normal price, because wireless alarm system is need to depends for the brands. Normally you will be use the Paradox, is that Canada that the brand. Okay, so contact sensor, which is we always to use it. So when we to use it, normally will be door and window. So there also is a passive infrared sensor, trigger that the alarm if that the protected door and window is open while the system is armed. So you can see that the picture here. So once that the sensor, the alarm is going, that the alarm will be triggered. Okay. So another is that the pet emute motion sensor. Okay, this is for detect that the humans walking upright while ignoring small animals that are walking close to the ground. So that this of the sensor, the most important we need to know is mounting height and positioning is very important for a pet immune motion detection to work correctly. So if, for example, that the sensor you put it at quite low of the distance, you see from that picture here, the detection length also will be closest to the false alarm. You see that the picture have two of that call is a line. Okay, when the human is detect, both of the line will be triggered as sensor. But for the pet, that their height is not very tall, so won't be triggered at the alarm sensor. So another thing is motion sensor light. So this is actually not is alarm system, you know. So you don't want to, no need to understanding is this is just for drive out the burglar. Okay, for example, this system with this known as a system is this sensor with motion sensor with the light, we put it at the outside. So if let's say that anybody is walking around there, they will be automatically come on. So this also can be save your money for that electricity, because you no need to keep on your light at all night if you don't want to do it. Additionally, this sensor also can be used inside your home too. You can program your security system so that the light will on is detected to scare off the intruder, or to brighten up a room to snap clear footage of the intruder on camera. Normally, with this motion sensor light will be just used for back area, back door. So once that anybody is pass through by there, will be have light to on it. Okay. Another thing is that the motion sensor camera. So actually, motion sensor camera for now is, I can be said, is that wireless IP camera. So even though it's a lot of the people will be have a misunderstanding, wireless IP camera no need any wiring to use it. But you need to remember that this type of the camera, even though they can be used Wi-Fi, but they also need the power socket. So which is they need the power adapter. So this the motion sensor camera will be recorded at the camera there. So we will be used that the micro SD card to slot in, and you can be viewed from that the headphone. Okay, so wireless IP camera suitable for house and office use to monitor that maybe your mat, or you want to monitor that the elderly people. But if let's say you want to prevent that the burglar, I'll be not suggest to use this type of the camera. You know why? Because this camera, if you let's say you put it, you install it outside. So if the burglar take away your this camera, so that means all your camera will be lost, and that the memory also will be lost. Okay, so this is just for home use inside the house. If you put it at outside, normally will be not suggest. Okay. So actually the alarm system is designed to detect intrusion and unauthorized entry into a building area. So alarm system will be used more on residential, commercial industry, and military properties to protect that burglar. So car alarm likewise protect the vehicle and their contents. Prison also use a security camera for control of inmates. So some alarm systems serve a single purpose of burglary protection with combination system provide with the fire and intrusion protection. Actually, alarm system we also can be used for the CCTV to record the activity of intruder and may interface to access control or the door access. So from that small range, the self-contained noise maker to complicated multi-area system with computer monitoring and control. Okay. So how that actually that the alarm system works? Okay, you can see that on that picture here. The first thing we need is that the panel and then the keypad. Okay, so this is we can be saying is a keypad is for to on and off that the alarm. Panel is like our human brain. Okay, is to on that the power and do that the detection. Okay, so we also have a lot of that sensor we can be controlled, like motion sensor, door sensor, and glass break detector. Okay, and we also can be combined with the CCTV or the intercom. So the siren also is quite important, which is will be put it at outside of your house. On that the picture here, that this siren is using that indoor type. Normally will be used that outdoor type of that the siren. Okay, so I will show here that the control alarm system.
All the sensors keep sending messages to the control panel. Whenever there is a break-in detected by the sensors, the control panel immediately communicates with the central monitoring station through your landline. Simultaneously, the control panel raises an alarm through the hooter in case of intrusion. The central monitoring station gets in touch with the customer to verify the authenticity of the alarm and takes appropriate action. The control panel comes in a wired, wireless, and hybrid versions. The wired models are used in new constructions where the wires can be hidden during the construction phase itself. The wireless models are used mainly in heritage buildings and in homes which have recently been built or renovated. The hybrid models can be a mix of both wired and wireless sensors. These are usually used when the number of sensors put up are large in number. The wired control panel receives information from the sensors through the wires attached to it, and the wireless control panel receives information from all the sensors connected to it via radio frequency. When anyone attempts a forced entry through the door, the magnetic contact informs the control panel, which raises an alarm through the hooter and also informs the central monitoring station. Magnetic door contact detectors identify intruders by using a magnet and reed switch mechanism. In case of an unauthorized entry, these contacts break open, causing the magnet to move away from the reed switch. This causes a change in the switch status of the reed switch from closed to open and immediately signals the control panel. Magnetic contacts can be placed on doors, windows, or any other entry or exit points which are vulnerable to break-ins. The reed switch is almost always fitted on the stationary part of the door, the magnet on the moving part. The motion sensor intelligently responds to all rail movements and ignores all false alarms. This sensor works on passive infrared energy movement detection, constantly watching and keeping the control panel informed. These sensors see the infrared energy emitted by an intruder's body heat. When an intruder walks into the field of view of the detector, the sensor detects a sharp increase in infrared energy. The control panel then raises an alarm through the router and simultaneously informs the central monitoring section. The sensors sense motion in a 90-degree angle when fit in the corners. When fit in the center of the room, they can cover a wider angle. One complete circular scan by the detector covers the complete room. The sensor has the capacity to sense motion even at a distance of about 20 to 30 feet. This smart sensor raises an alarm only when it senses motion created by any person. The system does not raise false alarms if small pets move around in the room. Panic buttons are life-saving devices, which when placed correctly, help aging old patients call their caretakers in case of medical emergencies. When the panic button is pressed, it contacts the control panel, which in turn informs the central monitoring station. The central monitoring station then gets in touch with the family members, and the patient can get help immediately. Your vigil from Eureka Falls.
Okay, so this is that how that the alarm works, which is until now for the alarm system, they will be have a problem. Just that the first of that the weakness is false alarm, which is everybody if you install that alarm you will be have this experience. Okay, so you can be saw on that the picture here. So for the physical security describers, security measures that are designed to deny unauthorized access to facilities, equipment, and resources, and to protect the personal and property from damage. So physical security involves that the use of multiple layers of the interdependence system, which includes CCTV surveillance, security guard, protective barriers, locks, access control, and many of other techniques. So if you want to that the alarm which is more secure, which is you need to use a lot of that the system to protect it. So for example, for that office, if you want to go to that office, you need to use that access card. So if you want to that double tier security, maybe some of the people will be saying, okay, I have this access card. So is very safe? Because if this access card is belong to me, but if let's say at the one day I lost this card, so that the person who the person is take out this card, they can be go into that office. But how about if we use card access and the password, which is will be suggest that the customer is use the access card plus enter the password, and then you just can be go in. So this is quite safe, but quite troublesome, and it will be take time. Okay, so is you need to remember if you want to more secure, but if you want to more secure and you don't want to do a lot of this complicated step to enter, it's which is this is definitely cannot, because more complicated, more secure, more easier, and then will be less of the secure. Okay. So beside that, we also have that physical barriers, such as a fence, wall, and vehicle barriers. Normally, that this will be like a barricade system, which is now is very quite high technology, because for now we also use that license number plate recognition barricade, which is, for example, if you're going to one of the gated garden house, so normally they will be used card, but for the latest of the technology, we will be use car number to access, so that the resident owner no need to use the card again to enter their house. Okay. So another one is a natural surveillance. So this is include for the placement of window and open areas with clear lines of sight. Ground and parking areas are prime location to provide clear lines of sight to prevent potential assault by reducing that hiding place. So this is natural of the surveillance. We can be saying that is use that the security officer and use their eyes to monitor for yours. So actually for the security officer, all of the security personnel play a central role in all layers of security. So that the technological system that are employed to enhance physical security are useless without the security force that is trained in their use and maintenance. So normally security guard they will be do their work as a patrol at the checkpoint, and then is administer electronic access control to respond at the alarm and to monitor and to analyze their video. Okay. So today I will be more touch on the AI technology. Actually, AI technology is always related with our lifestyle. So AI technology, okay, I think a lot of yours have an experience is when you upload the photo on the Facebook, that the service automatically highlight the face and suggest friend to tag you. So how can we be instantly identified which of your friend is in the photo? So Facebook is used this AI technology to recognize the face. Okay, so for the AI technology, we also will be used more on the security and surveillance. So artificial intelligence is broadly used in security and surveillance system. It is very difficult for an individual to keep an eye on different monitor screens and their feeds at the same time. Okay, so actually AI also most of them is used on the Google. Okay, so they will be keep track of the activities and behavior that you do online. So advertisement related to all that those products are show that you browse on the shopping website or search engine. So AI also collect some information as a age, gender on that advertisement basis of your preference. So I think AI technology normally like when you search on the Lazada, for example, today you search on it as a Lazada, you want to buy a car, okay? So when you search on the Lazada, not it's Lazada, the car list, car list. So you search on the car list there. How come that when you are playing that your Facebook, there will be keep always appear that just now you search for that the car list. Okay, they will keep appear to let you go into there to buy that the car. Okay, so this is they use the AI technology to do their advertisement and to increase their sales. Okay, so in future this AI technology will be very useful and will be is the latest technology if we have a 5G technology. Okay. Okay. So the most important is challenge of traditional security system. Okay. So how come it will be said is a challenge of the traditional security system? So alarm system will be triggered after the door or window open. Okay. So after the door open, that the alarm triggered. So that the burglar, which means they enter to that your premise already. So actually not is really 100% of that safe. Okay, and this can't prevent that the crime before happen. And the most important is always false alarm. I think a lot of my customer, not is my under my company doing that alarm system, is previous of that customer the installer, when they do that alarm system, they will be used that the wiring is used the very lousy of that the wiring, which is not is a full copper cable, but will be have a lot of maybe the metal inside. So after maybe 2 years, that the cabling will be spoiled. So will be causes that false alarm. Okay, so traditional security alarm system also we can't protect that the outdoor perimeter. Okay, but with AI technology, all these problems can be solved. Okay, for example, this AI CCTV will install outside perimeter for monitoring. So when the burglar try to break in, that will be alerted. Then they also can be reduced 98% false alarm with AI technology. And at the same way, outdoor perimeter camera protected that the burglar before break-in. Okay, so this is that video that I will be show you. So how we really is prevented the break-in cases, which is this like just now I mentioned is we are doing that the central monitoring station with CCTV. Okay, so this video will show you how it works. Okay, so we can see here. If that the burglar wants to steal something, we can be alert. So we will be trigger that the alarm system, the siren, to drive off that the burglar. So benefits of that this video monitoring system, we can be prevent that the crime before happen. The most important is we can be provide double backup of the recording, emergency button, and reduce cost for the security guard. Then we also is that 24 hours monitoring, and we also can be detect that the real-time alert, which is hard disk, the recording is spoiled, the camera is spoiled, or that the network connection is lost. Okay, so why I will be have this service for double backup recording? Because we have some of the cases is that the burglar is break in to the shop, and nowadays that the burglar is very, we can be say it is a very clever. So the first thing they go inside that the shop or the house, they will be go to find that the recorder first. Okay, so once they find that the recorder, they will be take away that the recorder. So which means after they take away that the recorder and steal that all that the valuable things, which means all the recorded image and the video also be lost. So that's why we have a double backup recording. Okay. So between of that, the traditional alarm system, we can be said is they have a fully wired. The connection can be interrupted with a single loose cable. Easy for burglar to chop off the wire. Limited access for the homeowner. But AI technology is utilized that the computer software program that analyze that the audio and image from the video surveillance camera in order to recognize that this is a human, vehicle, object, and event. Okay, so this AI program function by the using the machine vision. So actually, how we works for the video monitoring service. So first, when the burglar is entered to the perimeter protection area, our center will be received that the notification and alert the monitoring officer. So monitoring officer will be clarified. The first of all, they will be triggered the siren first, or use the speaker to drive the burglar. So that if let's say that the burglar is still inside and still want to steal something, so we will be called at the police department. Okay. So this video will be show you how that the AI technology will be in future. Because what I'm not doing now is more for prevent the crime before happen. And this video also will be have an imagination and really is happen at the China, which they are using for determine that the criminals. Okay, you can be take a look for this video. Okay. So this is one of my part for this presentation. So they have later will be have a second part. So for until now, is it that yours have any question about this alarm system? So is it have any question? Yes. Against that your question, because it's quite that the voice is quite low. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So for security system will be suggest is use that the wired alarm system, because wired alarm system that will be more stable. Okay, and but the most important is if that your house is haven't do that renovation. So when is doing that renovation in progress, so we can be do that cable. Okay, so wired will be better. But for wireless is for if let's say you know have that you can't do any wiring already, so we can be used to that wireless. But wireless also will be false alarm, because that the frequency of that wireless, if let's say have any disturb, will be triggered that alarm. Okay, so wired will be is the best choice for that alarm system. Okay. Okay, and
Sir, saya nak tanya,
okay.
Dekat Malaysia ni smart home security system tak meluas. Bagi pendapat sir, okey ke kalau kita pakai smart home security system ni dekat Malaysia?
Okay, smart home system bagi sekarang kan, macam mana cakap dia belum stable lagi. Okay, for smart home system dia punya device banyak mahal. For example okay, smart home system dia boleh guna voice or voice control or guna apps. Okay, so like for example itu switch for lighting switch okay, dia punya harga lebih kurang 300 lebih for 2 gang switch. Tapi kalau you nak 4 gang switch will be around 400 lebih. Maksud dia kalau you satu rumah nak buat ini smart home system lebih kurang dekat 10,000. 10,000 tu pun untuk yang mungkin kondo suitable. But kalau you punya rumah lebih kurang bungalow kan, saya ingat lebih kurang jejak 20,000 lebih. So you pun tak boleh dekat mana yang itu Lazada beli yang banyak murahnya. Sebab nanti dia akan banyak problem. Like for example kalau you guna voice. So sekarang ni latest boleh guna voice control. Tapi mungkin kalau you punya sakit tekak, nanti you punya voice tak sama, you tak boleh buka pintu, tak boleh buat apa. Ya. Oh. Okay. Any question?
Thank you sir.
Hi sir, I
Yes.
have submitted my question at the comment section. Tapi saya nak tambah lagi satu. Kalau dekat overseas ada ke?
Overseas yang macam mana?
Okay, sekejap. Saya baca soalan saya. Ada tak regulation dekat Malaysia yang kita kena ikut untuk install home security system?
Okay.
And dekat overseas juga ada tak?
Okay. Yang install security system, your means is alarm system or CCTV system?
Mana-mana pun boleh.
Mana-mana. Okay. Alarm system dia tak ada apa regulation. Jadi you install itu alarm system dekat you punya rumah, semua tu boleh. Tapi for CCTV ya, saya pun pernah ada case macam ni. Okay, macam kondo. Kondo kan kita rumah luar ada satu gate, lepas tu dalam ada satu pintu. Okay, tapi CCTV system dalam regulation for kondo, CCTV tak boleh install dekat luar sebab itu privacy. Kalau you nak install, you kena install dalam you punya rumah. Maksud dia itu pintu apa, wooden door punya atas. Itu suas dalam punya rumah you boleh. Tapi kalau luar tak boleh. Oh. Okay.
Okay, faham.
Okay. So ada apa soalan lagi? Kalau tak ada, saya terus dengan phone and communication.
Boleh teruskan.
Boleh teruskan. Okay. Okay. Saya nak tanya, ada orang sekarang tak ada guna phone tak? Atau mungkin sekarang pun lagi guna Nokia 3310? Ada tak?
Tak ada, semua pakai handphone canggih saya.
Ada, semua smartphone.
Okey, macam ni banyak baik. Sebab sekarang kajian pun ada bagi yang pelajar kan. Okey. Sebab saya ingat memang tak ada Nokia 3310. 3310 memang dekat saya itu zaman sekolah lah, baru ada lah. Okay, so telefon. Okay, apa itu telefon? So, a telephone is a telecommunication device that permits to all more users to conduct a conversation when they are too far apart to be heard directly. It can be convert sound typically and most efficiently than the human voice into electronic signals suitable for transmission via cable or other transmission media over the distance. So you just imagine if, let's say, you don't have the phone, don't have the Facebook, don't have the computer access, don't have Wi-Fi for 3 months. You get the 3 millions. Would you do this? If no have any of that, the Wi-Fi or the phone. So I give you 3 million. Can you accept? Cannot, right?
Yes.
Yes?
Sure. Yes.
But maybe 3 million maybe is a rupiah already.
If ini rupiah, kita orang tak nak.
Okay. So actually, how that the phone will be using, how they function. So that the first, as can you see here, it only contains 3 parts. So that the first there will be have a switch to connect and disconnect the phone from the network. This is called the hook switch. It connect when you leave the handset. Then the second, we have a speaker. So generally a little like a 50 cents 8-ohm speaker or some sort. So that the third will be microphone. In the past, telephone microphone has been as simple as carbon compressed between 2 thin thick metal plates somewhere from your voice, compressed and decompressed that the granules, changing that the resistance of the granules and the current flow through the microphone. So telephone is that one of the simplest device you have in your house. It is so simple because that the phone connection to your house has not changed in nearly a century. Okay, but I think now is most of us will be using that handphone to replace that phone really. So if let's say you have an empty phone from that 1920, you could connect it to the wall jack in your house and it will be work fine because we never change in nearly of that century. So telecommunications are the means of electronic transmission of information over distance. The information may be in the form of voice, telephone sales, data, text, image, or video. Today, the telecommunications are used to organize more or less remote computer system into that telecommunication networks. Okay, so you can be see that the picture here. That the essential elements of that phone are microphone, which is that the transmitter. So to speak into the earphone, we call it receiver, which reproduce that the voice of the distant person. The photophone, which is also alternate name is a radiophone, was similar to a contemporary telegraph. So you can see that the picture elements of the communication process. So that the first is that the sender. This process begin with that the sender, who is also called the communicator or source. The sender has some kind of that information, a command, request, question, or idea that she will be wants to present to other. For that the message to be received, the sender must first encode that the message in a form that can be understood, such as by the use of common language or industry jargon, and then transmit it. So the second will be the receiver. So that the receiver will be directed is called to comprehend that the information from the sender. The receiver must first be able to receive the sender information and then decode or interpret it. So that the message is that the information that the sender wants to relay to the receiver. Additional subtext can be conveyed through the body language and tone of the voice. Put all three elements together, sender, receiver, and message, and you have the communication process at its most basic. So for the medium, also called the channel, which is a message is transmit text message, for example. So transmitted through that medium of cell phones. So the last will be feedback. The communication process reach its final point when the message has successfully transmitted, received, and understood. In order to respond to the sender, the feedback may be direct, such as written, or take the form of an act or deed in response. Okay, so this is you can be seen at the picture here. So how that telecommunication works. So another thing is, what is IT? Okay, IT is the short form of the information technology. Okay, and is pronounced as separate letters. IT is the broad subject concerned with all aspects of managing and processing information, especially within a large organization or company. Information technology is that the use of any computers, storage, networking, and other physical device, infrastructure, and process to that create, process, and store, and exchange all forms of electronic data. So this for that IT, So we also have two types. One is that the hardware and one is that the software. So that this video will be explain to you what is the software and hardware.
You can't see it or feel it, but it's always there. Software is a set of instructions, data, or programs that tell a computer how to work. It can be anything from applications to games to spreadsheets. Hardware, on the other hand, is the physical parts of the computer, like the monitor, processor, keyboard, or mouse. Software is the digital portion that runs on this hardware. Software often falls into two categories: application software and system software. Application software is typically user-downloaded programs that fulfill a want or need, such as word processors, antivirus programs, games, photo editors, and web browsers. System software includes operating systems like Mac OS or Windows, and any program that supports application software. System software runs at the most basic level of the computer and often passively without much end-user intervention. Additionally, the term middleware describes programs that mediate between application software and system software. Middleware acts as a translator, facilitating communication and data exchange between the two applications. Remember when software came on floppy disks? What were some of your favorite old programs? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to give this video a like.
So what is a network? So in this network, we have a local area network, which is a LAN, and wide area network is we call it is a WAN. Okay, so you can see on that local area network is used to connect computer in a single building or group of building in maybe a PC, laptop, embedded computer, or mobile computer like a smartphone, tablet, and smartwatch. So local area network, you can be just imagine, is within that building, is not connected with that internet. Okay, all that the network with just inside the building and never connected it to that outside. Okay, so this is called local area network. So how about for that the wide area network? Okay, is to the larger geographic areas such as Florida, the United States, or that the world, dedicated that the transoceanic cabling or satellite uplinks may be used to connect this type of global networks. So you just imagine for that this wide area network is connected to that your internet, and which is can be outside, maybe outside of the country. Okay, this is called that wide area network. Okay, so this picture also will show, okay, that the LAN and then the WAN. So which is LAN is inside that the building, and WAN is can be a lot of the computer, and then also we have a server and can be connect over that outside. Okay, so now I will share about that the public address system. So public address system is that amplifier and distribution system with a microphone, amplifier, and loudspeaker used to allow a person to address a large public. So the term is also used for system which may additionally have a mixing console and amplifier and loudspeaker suitable for music as well as speech used to that you reinforce a sound source such as recorded music. Okay. So there will be have a sequence is that the pre-amplifier signal then pass into that amplifier. So from there, also is need to depends that the local practice this amplifier usually amplified that the audio signal to 50 volt, 70 volt, or 100 volt speaker line level. So more bigger of that volt, which is more louder. So that the third is the control equipment monitors the amplifier and speaker lines for port before it reaches that loudspeaker. And then that this actually that this PA system also can be separating that the zone, which is okay. For example, maybe that one of the building you have first floor, second floor, third floor. We also can be, if let's say you want to announce some of the announcement, you can be select which zone. Maybe for the third floor, you just announce to that the third floor. So that the first and second floor won't be any sound. Okay. So loudspeaker also is to convert electrical signal into that sound. So from this picture, you can be seen. Okay, they have two of that paging mic, which is when this is for you want to talk to that do that announcement. Okay, so they will be have amplifier. So that amplifier also will be have that speaker. So speaker they can be used a lot. The ceiling speaker or wall mount of that big speaker. So they also can be do it for zone 1, zone 2, or zone 3. So another thing is, what is that the distribution amplifiers? This is the high performance distribution amplifier for sending digital or analog computer video, audio, and data signal to the multiple device. This is called, which is one of the extension, okay, to combine all that the system go through that the distribution amplifier. Okay, so what is that the audio power amplifier? Okay, this is that amplifies that the low power electronic audio signal, such as a signal from that the radio receiver or electric guitar. Okay, which is I think who have played that electric guitar will be know what is that audio power amplifier. So this is to pick up to a level that is high enough for driving loudspeaker or headphones. So this audio power amplifier are also found in all manners of sound system, including sound reinforcement, public address, and home audio system. And musical instrument like a guitar amplifier, it is the final electronic stage in a typical audio playback chain before that the signal is sent to that loudspeaker. Okay, so if you need that the voice bigger, you must have that the power amplifier. Okay, so with this audio, we also have a lot of that the kind of that audio signal. So like the audio signal is a representation of sound, typically using either of changing level of electrical voltage for analog signal. So beside that, there also will be have audio frequency. Okay, so this is that audio spectrum. The generally accepted standard hearing range of humans is 20 to 20,000 megahertz. In atmospheric pressure, this represents that the sound wave with wavelength of 17 meters to 1.7 centimeters. Beside that is also is a digital audio. So digital audio represents a sound in a form process and or to store by the computer by the digital electronic. Okay. So audible content is publishing, can be delivered via many different media, including the internet, cinema, radio, and smartphone. So beside that also is semantic audio. So meaning from audio, this typical such as a musical chord is the individual speaking to facilitate the content based on management of audio recordings. So video means a recorded image or movie like a home video of your uncle wedding, or that the video equipment, a television station used to to make news stories. You can also call a movie you watch on your television or computer a video. So a short film meant to accompany a song, that is a music video. So for that video, right, we are like a CCTV, we also will have a frame rate. So that the frame rate is, I think you all see is remember those cool little flip books where the pen or paper had an image on every page. And when you flip through the page quickly, okay, the image will be appear, animated, and move. This is how video works. Whether digital or old school film, video is a series of still image that when viewed in order to a certain speed, give the appearance to that movie called a frame. Okay, so beside that, okay, they also have an interlaced scan and progressive scan. Traditional TV system is used at the NTSC, which is a standard TV in, but this is United States, which is used at interlaced scan, where half of the picture appears on the screen at a time. So that another half of the picture follow in instant data, which is 1 to 60 of a second to be precise. So that the interlaced system relies on the fact that your eyes can't detect this producer in action, at least not explicitly. So for that progressive scan, the entire picture is painted at the once, which greatly reduces the flickering that people notice when watching TV. Okay, it's available a range of the TV types. Okay, so what is the aspect ratio? So is that between the width and the height of the image on the screen. So for example, you see on the picture here, is a square. The first number always refers to the width, and the second number refers to the height. If the ratio of an image is different than the ratio of your screen, you may not see the whole image. Image won't fit properly if the screen is narrow than the image. So you see that the chart here, normally for that cinema scope will be used the 2.35, which is the 1, and then computer display is 5 of the wide, and the height will be 4. So this is also like our handphone or that your monitor. Okay. For that the video, right? Actually, we also have a color depth. Okay. It's either that the number of bits is used to indicate that the color of a single pixel in a bitmap, image or video frame. The number of the bits used for that each color component of a single pixel. Okay. If let's say you are using that 1 bit of the channel, that the image will be very blurred. But how about if you use that the 8 bits of the channel, you see that the picture here is very clear. Okay, so video inside there also they need that this color depth to appear in the image, the coloring and that quality of the image. Okay, so how that the video will come out? Okay, so that the first there will be have an uncompressed video, which is we call video codec, and then the audio codec, which is also is uncompressed. So after compressed, they can be encoded with the video file. Okay, so video compression is a process that reduce and remove redundant video information that a digital video file. Stream can be sent across the network and stored more efficiently. Okay, so it's applied to the source video to create a compressed stream that is ready for transmission, recording, or storage. Okay, so what is the stereoscopy? So science and technology dealing with two-dimensional drawing or photograph that when viewed by both eyes appear to exist in 3 dimensions in space. Basically, all of you to do create a stereoscopic image is shift the image layer slightly left or right, so that when you view that across that your eyes, they combine the two slightly different image into one, tricking their brain into a 3D effect. So look at the white line in the middle of the image, cross your eyes until the two images overlap each other. At this point, you should see three images. Okay, it may be difficult to do it, and you may not see it right way. So this is, we call it 3D. Okay, so now it's more for satellite. So a satellite is the moon. You just imagine satellite is a moon, planet or machine that orbits a planet or star. So for example, Earth is a satellite because it orbits the sun. Usually the word satellite refers to a machine that is launched to space and move around Earth or another body in space. Earth and the moon are examples of natural the satellites. Okay, so how that the satellite communicate? So first of all, there will be a method of the transporting information from one place to another using the communication satellite in orbit around the Earth. So watching the English Premier League every weekend, now also is a football match. Okay, every weekend with your friend would be have been impossible without this. A communication satellite is an artificial satellite that transmit the signal via transporter by creating a channel between the transmitter and the receiver, located at the different location. So telephone, radio, TV, and internet also is used satellite communication. So do you believe or not? More than 200 of that satellite around in space right above your heads. So indeed, did you also worry that this satellite will be dropped down at your head? Okay. So this is drawing is for that satellite we use application. What we do? Okay, satellite phone, home TV broadcasting also must be used that the satellite. Then we can be used for phone, internet, all these things. Okay. So you can be see out of the picture here. They have a three most commonly used satellite frequency. These are the C band, KU band, and the KA band. C band and KU band are the two most common frequency spectrum used by today's satellites. Okay, so for the radio, we use that HF or MF. So that the TV will be used UHF TV, like cell phones or GPS. Okay. So they also will be have GEO is located exactly 22,336 miles out in the space, directly above the Earth equator. So a satellite in a GEO orbit takes a full 24 hours to circle to the Earth. That means a satellite in GEO is always directly over the same spot on Earth. GEO can also be called a geostationary orbit. So that's why, how come we per day we have 24 hours? Because of this. Okay. Beside that, also have a medium Earth orbit satellite, move around the Earth at the height of the 5,000 to 10,000 miles. Their signal takes from the 50 to 150 milliseconds to make the round trip. The most common use for the satellite in this region is for the navigation, such as the GPS. Okay, so you need to know is MEO is around at the 50 to 5,000 to 10,000 miles. Okay. Beside that, okay, we also have low Earth orbit satellite. Is an object generally a piece of the electronic equipment that circles around the Earth at the lower altitudes than geosynchronous satellites. LEO orbit between 2,000 and 200 kilometers above the Earth. Most of that the LEO satellites are used for Earth or space observation and science. Okay, so that the best example is that the Hubble Space Telescope and Earth imaging and survey. It also is used at military satellite. Beside that, we also have that the high altitude, long endurance platforms. This is essentially highly efficient and lightweight of the airplanes carrying the communication equipment that will add to the very low Earth orbit synchronized satellites. This craft will be powered 29 by high efficiency turbine engines or the combination of battery and solar power. At only 70,000 feet, that the 12 platforms will offer that the transmission delays of less than 0.01 second and even better signal strength. So for very lightweight receiving device. Okay, so then the orbital slot is the parking spot. So like our car parking lot. Okay, are allocated to the telecom operators via national administration by the International Telecommunication Union, which is called ITU. There is no have a cost for an orbital slot, but allocation is on a first come first serve basis. With more than 2,000 that the satellite up there in the geosynchronized that orbit, how do we keep them from running into each other or from attempting to use the same location in space? So to tackle this problem, right, the ITU and national government organization like the Federal Communication Commission designed that the location on that the geosynchronized orbit where communication satellite can be located. These locations are specified degree of the longitude. Okay, this is like our car parking lot.
Almost every day we hear about things being described.
So this is the video is different analog and digital. Then you will be more can be more further information that this analog and digital. Okay.
Almost every day we hear about things being described as analog or as digital. Kind of like the difference between men and women. No, wait, this is the wrong term for that. Instead, it's like old cell phones, which used to be analog, but now they're all digital. At this point, most countries have either changed or are in the process of changing their television transmissions from analog to digital as well. Heck, even clocks can be analog or digital. Let's use these clocks to learn the difference between analog and digital electronic signals. Even though there are only 12 numbers on the face of this clock, you can always tell how many minutes have elapsed just by looking at how far the minute hand is between the numbers. When we look at a digital clock, all it can do is show us each digit of the time, the numbers 0 through 9. Even if we zoom in really close, we can't see how close the clock is looking for the next digit. So this means the increments of time are fixed to certain digits or levels. Okay. I know you're asking me, how does this all apply to electronics? Let's use this to talk about analog electronics first. So we gotta go back to the analog clock. As the clock's hands sweep across its face, the time display is continuously updated with moving and precision. The key here is the continuous change. Analog signals are signals that are continuously variable, or in other words, continuously changing, just like the time of the clock. As we learned in the video on the difference between AC and DC, the AC voltage in your house continuously changes at a rate.
The control panel is the brain behind.
Almost every day we hear about things being described as when really, really close. We can't see how close the clock is, but almost every day we hear about things being described as analog or as digital. It's kind of like the difference between men and women. No, wait, this is the wrong channel for that. Instead, it's like old cell phones, which used to be analog, but now they're all digital. At this point, most countries have either changed or in the process of changing their television transmissions from analog to digital as well. Heck, even clocks can be analog or digital. Let's use these clocks to learn the difference between analog and digital electronic signals. Even though there are only 12 numbers on the face of this clock, you can always tell how many minutes have elapsed just by looking at how far the minute hand is between the numbers. When we look at a digital clock, all it can do is show us for each digit of the time the numbers 0 through 9. Even if we zoom in really, really close, we can't see how close the clock is looking to the next digit. So this means the increments of time are fixed to certain digits or levels. Okay. I know you're asking me, how does this all apply to electronics? Let's use this to talk about analog electronics first. So we gotta go back to the analog clock. As the clock's hands sweep across its face, the time display is continuously updated with more than infinite precision. The key here is the continuous change. Analog signals are signals that are continuously variable, or in other words, continuously changing, just like the time of the clock. As we learned in the video on the difference between AC and DC, the AC voltage in your house continuously changes at a rate of 50 to 60 hertz. Imagine that we had the ability to stop time and look at the voltage. Okay, I know, bad comment. What I wanted to show here is that as we move across in time, that the voltage values change. This doesn't mean that analog is only found in the wall sockets or TV. It's just a very good example. In fact, there are sensors like this accelerometer which provides an analog output. This sensor varies its output voltage depending on how much acceleration is occurring. If you want to use that analog voltage with a digital system like an Arduino, then you're going to need to convert that signal to digital first. Going back to the digital clock, remember that time can only be represented by a fixed number of symbols like 9. The same thing is true in digital electronics. The digital signals can only be represented with fixed symbols like 0 and 1. But how do you get those zeros and ones? Well, it turns out that they're formed from voltage. Digital signals can have both a high level and a low level. And so what this means is that at 0 volts, the signal is considered a digital 0. And then at some high voltage, say like 5 volts, the signal is considered a digital 1. As it turns out, digital isn't quite this absolute. Depending on the transistor technology being used, there's a range that the signal might be considered a 0 or 1. For example, on this Arduino Uno, a digital 0 is considered 0 volts up to 0.5 volts, while a digital 1 is anywhere from 3.5 volts up to 5 volts. And so there's these two bands where there's the low and the high. The area between the low and the high is an undefined area. A digital signal with a voltage in this zone can be considered a 0 or a 1. Because digital logic needs to have a value associated with it, this undefined region will get turned into 1s or 0s. Problem is, we can't always predict which one that they will be. The key to understanding the difference between analog and digital is to remember that analog voltages continuously change, while digital voltages have defined levels. When you step back and think about it, it kind of turns out that digital signals are actually analog signals where the voltage levels have special meanings.
Okay, so this is that the different digital and analog. So I think this is for my sharing today about that the security system and that the internet and the telephone. So thanks all. I think we still have 15 minutes for that Q&A session.
So there's a question in the chat box.
Pardon? Okay, so when we talk about security system as well as communication system, we cannot to avoid to touch the new technology as all of those berkaitan. New technology sangat signifikan dengan internet di Malaysia kita sangat banyak. Mudah-mudahan kebanyakan orang dah baca boleh. Okay, so yang you cakap yang ni untuk 5G. Actually dekat, okay, you tahu kenapa nak 5G tak? 5G maksud dia main download speed and upload speed will be banyak kali ganda. Sekarang kita guna 4G, dia cuma sekarang paling maksimum pun 1 gig, which is 1000 meg. Okay, tapi kalau 5G kan, dia boleh lebih kurang 10 atau 1 kali ganda dengan itu 5G. Okay, sebab kenapa Malaysia kita sekarang 5G belum dapat? Sebab sekarang Malaysia itu infrastruktur belum siap. Lagipun pun tengah buat. In future maybe saya rasa lah dekat Malaysia nak lebih kurang another 5 years onward 5G baru boleh dapat. So sekarang kita tengok kita itu router modem router internet, semua sudah boleh ada function for 5G. So I believe in future another 5 years 5G technology will be coming. Okay, tapi dekat negara China yang dia sekarang dia sudah 5G, you boleh tengok dia kebanyakan guna AI teknologi. Okay, sedangkan you tengok dekat hospital, yang itu doktor dia nak operate itu patient, jadi dia sudah tak payah pergi itu hospital, dia cuma dekat itu laptop dia untuk operate that the patient. Okay, so dia guna 5G, dia itu internet speed lagi canggih. Sebab saya guna yang ini AI teknologi for video monitoring service. Kalau 5G sudah datang, dia banyak kebaikan benefit bagi saya. Terus sekarang saya ada facing problem Malaysia that internet speed kurang baik, bukan tak baik lah, cuma ada kurang baik sikit. So dia selalu akan down. Okay. Okay. Ada apa soalan lagi? Is there any maintenance that require for home security system? Okay. Biasa security alarm system dia maintenance cuma backup battery. Okay. So backup battery lebih kurang last for 1 year plus. Dia dalam battery sudah rosak. Jadi lebih kurang macam ni years, you kena check balik untuk tukar itu backup battery. So alarm system backup battery dia boleh backup lebih kurang 1 atau 2 hari. Okay. Lagi. Okay. Yang ini baru dia tanya backup, iaitu backup mechanism itu backup battery. Okay. So kalau dia off itu power, so saya pernah ada satu case yang pencuri sekarang banyak pandai. Kan kita itu electrical, sedangkan dia sekarang kebanyakan dekat bawah. Dia senang nak buka itu electrical part sana, yang luar sana. Yang itu burglar, pencuri dia ingat itu card access tak ada backup battery. Sebab pada at first saya suggest itu customer. So saya ambil harga lebih kurang 900. Tapi ada orang offer dia 400 untuk pasang itu card access system. Tapi dia tanya saya, boleh kurang tak? Saya cakap saya tak boleh punya sebab saya ada backup battery. So banyak penting. Kalau power off, itu card access, door access akan buka. Tapi kalau ada backup battery, dia ada boleh backup lagi lebih kurang 3 hours. Jadi ada satu hari itu burglar dia dekat luar sana buka dia punya itu, kita panggil plug ke atau kita panggil electrical punya device lah. Dia suruh buka. Dia ingat tak ada backup battery. Jadi dia pergi try to buka itu pintu, tak boleh. Jadi lepas dia tengok balik itu CCTV dia pun banyak thank you bagi saya. Sebab kalau tak ada backup battery, dia cuba pergi naik atas itu shop lot. Jadi shop lot sana pun beautician cosmetic. Okay. Kalau dua pencuri itu dapat masuk, kalau dia dapat dia pergi melompat, is okay. Tapi dekat atas tu kebanyakan ada 4 wanita dekat atas. You boleh imagine kalau dia boleh dapat naik atas saya ingat duit tak apa. Tapi kalau dia pergi buat yang lainnya, itu ada problem sudah. Jadi security system pun tak boleh cakap, you nak banyak murah. Banyak murah, less security, tapi less of protection lah. Okay. Okay, ada apa soalan?
Dekat chat box. Sir.
Saya ingat ada lagi.
Bawah sekali.
Bawah sekali.
Baru.
So some security is like at home. Do I need home line in order to get security system installed? Okay, yang you nak security alarm system, basically dia ada dua choices. First you mesti mau ada phone line. Kedua, ada network. Phone line sebab alarm system bila trigger dia akan guna email phone line untuk call you handphone. Jadi dekat handphone sana, you boleh on off itu alarm dengan check dia itu zone mana yang bunyi. So kalau you tak ada itu yang ini internet line dengan phone line jadi you cuma boleh stand alone trigger. Kalau pencuri masuk, dia sana bunyi saja. Bunyi. Tapi sekarang pencuri dia pun tak takut mati. Ada kamera, ada alarm, dia pun masuk juga. Macam saya itu last week, saya itu van park dekat office depan. Van itu pun sudah 10 tahun. Lagi pun sudah banyak, boleh cakap banyak lousy sudah. Mungkin dia itu seat pun semua koyak. Tapi pun ada orang nak curi. Okay. Tapi yang paling kelakar, 2 orang datang curi. Saya itu, sebab saya ada video monitoring system Saya budak boleh nampak. Jadi dia call saya. Dia cuma guna 4 minit untuk bawa saya berkereta. Okay. So first, dia suruh angkat itu van, 2 orang datang, guna motorbike. Jadi 2 orang, motorbike dia letak sebelah office saya. 2 orang angkat itu van, tak tahu pergi suara dekat mana letak. Jadi bila kita playback itu CCTV, kita dapat tahu yang itu motor, yang itu pencuri punya. Jadi kita pun lock dia itu steering. Jadi bila suara lock lepas 1 jam itu pencuri datang balik tau. Dia mau angkat itu motor. Tapi itu motor sudah lock, dia pun tak boleh angkat. Lepas tu kita pergi buat report polis. Itu motor, dia pun sudah, kita pun sudah serah bagi police station. In the end, saya punya van boleh dapat cari dekat berhadapan dengan saya punya itu office. Cuma dalamnya itu barang ada sedikit yang lost lah. Cuma banyak kelakar, saya tak tahu kenapa. Dua pencuri itu, satu bawa motor, satu bawa kereta, tu sudah boleh selesai man. Tapi dia mahu dua orang bawa kereta pergi. Jadi dia lost dia punya motor juga. Tapi itu motor pun motor curi kan. Lepas kita set tanya itu CID, itu polis. Itu pun dalam siasatan. So saya punya itu lori, saya van dapat cari, tapi itu motor dia kena siasat lagi. So dia punya number plate semua pun guna yang palsu punya. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Sir, okay. Macam konsep kunci kan. Kunci kan dia ada master key.
Okay.
So kalau untuk contoh CSI solution ada pasang security system dekat rumah, contoh rumah A, and then ada company lain dia pasang security system untuk rumah B. Ke CSI solution ni ataupun mungkin akan boleh kawal security system untuk rumah orang lain.
Boleh, tapi yang sekarang kan saya guna video monitoring system. For alarm system saya tak ada monitor. Okay, sebab video monitoring system kamera, CCTV kamera kita pasang luar. Jadi sebelum dia masuk kita sudah dapat alert. Macam tadi punya video. Bila sudah alert kita akan guna siren untuk halau itu pencuri. Dalam 1 tahun lebih kurang 2 bulan ada satu case. Dia belum dapat masuk lah. Sebab sebelum masuk kita sudah trigger itu siren lah. Kasih dia bunyi. Jadi dia pun lari.
So dia pencuri itu boleh tak dia apa? Maksudnya dia diffusekan security system tu, alarm system tu. Dimatikan.
Tak dapat.
Tak dapat.
Ya, sebab alarm system dia ada backup battery. Dia cuma boleh rosakkan itu siren, bunyi itu saja. Satu kenapa alarm system saya tak berapa recommend guna. So in future semua akan guna ini video monitoring system yang sekarang saya buat ni. Sebab saya sekarang pun cuma nak tunggu 5G saja. Kalau 5G datang, saya semua problem boleh solve. So sekarang saya pun banyak takut internet tak stable. Kalau internet tak stable maksud saya ini monitoring semua akan interruption.
Yes.
Jadi saya ingat you kena more for tengok in future of AI technology. So sekarang internet 4G memang sudah biasa, 5G dia memang banyak tempat boleh guna. For AI lah. Macam mungkin kan dulu Mahathir cakap wawasan 2020. Dulu kita fikir wawasan 2020 itu itu kereta boleh terbang. Tapi in future I believe maybe 10 tahun atau 20 tahun kemudian ini akan terjadi. Sebab sekarang kita yang tadi saya mention itu hospital pun sudah boleh guna AI teknologi untuk buat operation. Sebab sekarang kereta pun boleh buat yang tak payah ada pemandu bas untuk operate. Dan ini memang berlaku dekat China sana. So AI teknologi dia mempermudahkan kerja kita. You bayangkan Macam logistik, kita selalu ada lagi sekarang pun banyak delivery. Yang dekat China ada satu tempat, dia sepatutnya dia kena guna 100 orang pekerja untuk buat itu parcel semua. Tapi dia invest dekat AI teknologi, dia satu kilang guna 10 orang saja. Jadi dia guna AI untuk buat bukan delivery, untuk buat dia punya parcel. Macam mana ini postcode nak hantar pergi mana punya ruang. Dia semua guna robotik. Oh. Okey. Ada soalan lagi?
So, saya ada soalan. Okay, thank you. Nak tanya, before kita install sistem security system tu, kita boleh test dia punya function tak?
Macam mana cakap function?
Macam mana? Contoh kalau kita nak beli earphone, kan kita cucuk dulu, kita check dia function ke tak. So kalau untuk security system ni ada tak? Ke install je dulu baru?
Kita mesti kena install dulu. So dia function memang boleh function. Dia cuma depends you punya pintu atau window dia guna material apa. Kalau you ada window grill, kita pasang vibration sensor dengan magnetic contact. Kalau pintu yang window wooden door, memang itu magnetic contact sajalah.
Okay. Kalau kita install security system ni, berapa agak-agak?
Kalau for single story lebih kurang 1,800. Kalau for double story lebih kurang 2,007 macam ni. Kena depends you punya size you punya rumah lah.
Oh, I see.
Okay, include dengan installation semua lah. Okay. 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 Okay, yang ini for sebab ini kena depends for service provider. Okay, you nak macam mana you nak ganti tu saya pun susah nak cakap boleh. So 5G yang you boleh tengok internet router semua sudah boleh support 5G. Jadi bila datang tu banyak penting. Sebab infrastruktur dekat Malaysia saya ingat pun dia belum ada planning, tapi belum siap lagi dengan, saya pun tak tahu dia orang ada tengah buat lah, dia punya itu 5G punya infrastruktur. So 5G punya infrastruktur dia punya cost banyak tinggi. Jadi depends kita punya service provider, dia nak invest ini dah. Dia nak invest tapi pun saya ingat sekarang punya ekonomi dia pun takut juga. Okay. So bagi my opinion, dia memang akan replace 5G, tapi yang itu 4G dia pun akan in future dia akan force you terminate 4G and suruh you angkat 5G punya itu line. Dia pun macam sekarang you tengok TMNet kita masih sekarang guna phone line, tapi dia punya speed baru berapa 8 meg. Tapi kalau you guna fiber, dia boleh guna sampai 100 meg atau 800. Jadi dia akan step by step wave out itu phone line-nya. Jadi first dia macam mana buat? Dia samakan itu harga. You 8 meg 100 ringgit. You 100 meg 120 meg. Jadi dia punya beza you pun so boleh tahu wah. Macam ni banyak itu harga dia memang banyak beza. Jadi kalau banyak orang mesti dengar macam ni dia pun akan angkat fiber juga. First step dia memang buat macam ni lah. Okay. Okay. Ada apa soalan lagi?
Masih tak ada dah.
Okay.
Ada soalan lagi ke?
Tak ada.
Okey, saya rasa tak ada dah. Selesai sudah program kita. Thank you Mr. Jack Chan di atas perkongsian pengalaman tadi. Okey, seterusnya majlis dengan hormatnya menjemput Mr. Jack Chan. Pensyarah para pelajar bersedia untuk sesi fotografi secara dan talian. Pelajar boleh diminta untuk buka kamera lah. Harus screenshot boleh. Kira Okay, alhamdulillah. Thank you Mr. Jack Chan, thank you pelajar and hadirin atas kerjasama anda. Okey, dengan berakhirnya sesi fotografi itu, maka berakhirlah sudah program kita. Kita akhiri majlis kita dengan surah Al-Az yang diketuai oleh Muhammad Haris Hanafi. Amin, amin ya rabbal alamin. Terima kasih Mr. Jack Chan atas kerjasama anda dan atas perkongsian anda pada para pelajar dan pada para lecturer hari ini. Okey, bagi sesiapa yang berminat untuk dapatkan security system boleh tengok dekat chat box. Mr. Jack Chan ada kongsi nombor phone. So apa-apa boleh DM lah. Mr. Jack Chan personal, okey?
Ya, boleh.
Okey, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you semua.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ya. Boleh. Nanti aku bagi. Okay, welcome.
Dekat engkau
Bisa.
je.
Dekat Farah.
Aku ingatkan kat engkau.
Siapa?
Aku ingatkan slide tu kat engkau.
Bukan. Ada kat Pisa. Pisa.
Habis ke Cik?
Belum.
Dah habis dah.
Habis.
Kan kau keluar semua mesti akan lock semua. Tu kan.
Baru nak
Aku
belajar.
Keluar.
Kita habis belum, saya lapar ni. Dah.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Seram.
Assalamualaikum semua.